If you've watched the AgilePoint platform overview, you may notice small overlap with the content in this video. Alright, so for this first video, we're going to focus on the end-user components of AgilePoint 7, the Work Center, also known as the Task Management Dashboard. So from my AgilePoint portal homepage here, I'm going to go to my portal menu and select Work Center. Now the Work Center itself is actually comprised of a number of components, right? The first being the inbox, which you're currently seeing on screen here. It gives me insight into the tasks currently allocated to me, any tasks that may have been sent to a group of users, as well as insight into applications that I've worked on or those that I've started. In addition, I can also easily specify delegations to send my task to someone else if I'm going out of the office. Now there's a number of different ways that we can look at this task information here. Can also visually represent tasks and due dates, which is very handy for larger task lists, right, giving you an ability to easily prioritize your day. I can view this on a template basis, right, as well as on a team basis as well, right, again, depending on my permission and my role within the organization here, I can view this data a number of different ways. One way to view this data is using the Overview tab. As you can see, I have a number of tasks coming from a variety of applications, and then clicking into any one of them, I can see the task underneath. So after having looked at the overview here, let's take a look at a few of the tasks that are currently assigned to me. Now these tasks here are all overdue, which is indicated as being in red, but when I click on any one of them, I have a context-sensitive flyout menu that I can customize per my own business requirements. What you're seeing here are the out-of-the-box actions, but again, we can add our own as our requirements might dictate. Very commonly here, I've seen the ability to add comments as an additional action that you would see in this menu. Let's take a look at the out-of-the-box options here. So first we have View Process, which gives me a look at this application at this current point in time in its execution, giving me the ability to follow along and understand to whom each task is assigned, as well as the relevant dates. When the task was assigned, as well as its due date and completion date. And clicking over to the Participants tab, I can take this task assignment and open it up. And if I have the appropriate permission, I can reassign it to someone else. Now that task is going to drop off my task list here, so we'll look at another one for the remainder of the context menu. We can open the task here, and as you can see, the AgilePoint task form will render within my browser. I can enter the data and either approve or reject this step in the process. I can reassign the task to someone else. Send the task back for rework, which will send it back to the previous approver in the chain. I can also bring in additional process participants on an ad hoc basis using the Create Linked Work Item functionality. Here, despite not having designed for this, I can bring in an additional participant as I might need it. And here I'll give Richard 1 day to action this new task. I can change the priority, as you're seeing here, indicated by this red icon, as well as cancel the process or view a description of the application as a whole. So let's go back to my tasks here and show some more of the different ways that we can view this data. I'm currently showing my tasks. We also have all tasks, my direct team or department, teams or groups, as well as a view for any applications of which I may be the owner. So lots of different views that correlate to the different roles you see within your organization. Now I have a pretty large task list here, so I want to be able to filter that based on a number of criteria. Right, things like process model name as an example, right, the instance name, specific names of tasks, as well as by a variety of dates, right, things like assigned date, the date it's due, as well as a custom date range, right. So the goal here is to be able to target the highest priority items, right, and handle those first, right, giving you an ability to prioritize the tasks for the day. Now, in addition to those filtering capabilities, I can also filter based on any of the out-of-the-box columns here, as well as filtering by custom columns as well, right? We've seen this in a lot of our larger organizations, They want to add additional columns so that their users can better prioritize their day, right, and tackle those higher value items first. In addition to my tasks, we also have tasks that are in queue. Right? If a task gets assigned to a group of users here, it will show up under this tab, and I can easily view the process, right, take the assignment, and have it show up under my task list as an example. Processes I've started is great for following along with an application as it's executing. As you can see here, I've submitted a number of the invoice processing apps over the last few days, and I have a number of the out-of-the-box options. Right? Again, the ability to view the process, see where this application is as it's executing, right? Understand the number of steps remaining, to whom this task has been assigned, as well as data about the task itself, when it was started, when it was due, as well as its completion date. If I click into the Participants tab here, I can either reassign the task to someone else if I have the appropriate permission. Right here, I'll just go ahead and reassign this to myself. So it's going to go from Richard to John Smith, which is me, and click OK. So when I close out of this here, the task will now show up under my task list. I get a very similar experience for processes that I've worked on. Again, very handy to follow an application or a process as it's executing, as well as configure delegations. So as you can see here, I have a live delegation. My colleague Richard is out of the office, and they're temporarily going to be sent over to our administrator. But just to show you what this looks like here, I can take tasks that are originally assigned to John Smith, right, to me, and send that to one of my colleagues as an example. Let's send those to Mike. Can specify the dates of the delegation, right, for next week as an example, whether that's going to be the entire range or just specific days. And then I can click this checkbox here to go ahead and activate that delegation. Okay, so let's look at my applications. There are many ways that applications can be triggered within AgilePoint. What you're seeing here on screen are all of the applications that are eForms driven, which essentially means if I fill out a form, I click Submit, this starts the process. And underneath here, you'll see I have a combination of applications that I've created on a custom basis, as well as those that I imported from the marketplace. So if I do have a larger list of tasks here, I can search based on application name. I can sort based on the release date, as well as alphabetize the list of applications, and filter down based on app type, right? Showing just data-driven apps as an example, or process-based apps. For now, let's just leave it at all applications. If any of these applications are related, I can show those groupings, right, as well as paginate my result set, and then save this filter for the next time that I log in. And then lastly here are user statistics. Now these are out-of-the-box reports that I can just simply turn on and derive value from. And there's a couple of different ways that I can look at this data. First, on a per task basis, I can get some quick insight into the current task status, whether they're assigned, overdue, or new, as well as see the task turnover rate. As you can see here, I get a quick understanding of how long it's taking to action any one of these tasks, and can view this based on the completed date as well as the assigned date. Process level task performance here can be done on a per application basis, so I can toggle between a number of different applications. In addition, I can also view this data on a process basis as well. Now we're pretty early into the month of September here, so I'm just going to move this back to August. And again, I get an understanding of process turnover rate, this time on a process basis. Lastly here, if there are any reports that are consistently being referenced by your end users, we can always surface them here from within the Work Center. Now AgilePoint does have a role-based report capability, and we'll touch on that in a subsequent video. But if your end users are consistently referring to the same sets of reports, we can easily surface them here in the Work Center. So let's just show you quickly what that looks like. I'm going to select the report here. Click OK. Right, making it very easy to surface up the reports that your end users are consistently using. Now, you need not use the AgilePoint portal. In fact, one of the great selling points of AgilePoint is that the Work Center is pluggable, or it can be natively embedded into any portal or system capable of hosting a custom JavaScript and a custom HTML page. AgilePoint has off-the-shelf UI-level integration into things like Salesforce, as well as Office 365, but really you can get this experience, again, in any portal or system, provided it can host a custom HTML and a custom JavaScript page. So many of our customers are surfacing the task management components into all of the systems that they're already using, meaning that I don't need to throw away my legacy portals when I adopt AgilePoint. I can simply breathe new life into those portals by inserting the AgilePoint task management components. In closing, let's review what you've learned in this video. We've covered how to receive and manage tasks within the AgilePoint Work Center, how to configure task delegations if you're going out of the office and would like to send your tasks to another user. We've reviewed the out-of-the-box reports, as well as launching new process and data-driven applications. This concludes the content for this video.